Hi, guys, and welcome back to Marantz. Rantz. Plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. I want to talk about an article that I read yesterday. It was from David Modell. Now, David Modell went out there on Twitter, was bragging about his article that he wrote for Investor Place, and it says, "Don't touch it. GameStop's the next hot potato, or treat it like a hot potato." I'm sorry, David. The article that I read felt rushed. It felt like you were given some information and some headlines and you put them out there because you basically quoted Michael Pachter and Nick McKay the whole article. And if you're going to do that, you're going to write an investor piece, a hit piece for Wedbush Securities, you got to know the history of the stock, of the environment, and of course the people you're writing about. When you talk about Ryan Cohen and you said that it was like coronation day for his followers and supporters when he became the CEO, i.e., it was just going to happen because no one wants to work with him, this is crazy. You got to think about the history of who he is. You want to talk about all the ties to Chewy for the board of directors? Well, then let's go ahead and talk about Mark Vadden, the former CEO of Chewy.com, who actually beat Amazon over the last 25 years in jewelry, in women's apparel, in children's apparel. And then you go to the pet food products and now gaming. You don't have to win all sectors here. But I promise you this, GameStop's winning. It's the number one destination for all gamers. Now, when we talk about Ryan, is he a failure? Well, then Larry Chang must be a failure too. And Alan Adel and anyone else on this board of directors. Don't just pin it on Ryan. But your hit pieces are written this way because you're taking the bylines from Michael Pachter and Nick McKay. It's okay. I saw the whole article, guys. If you guys didn't watch it, it's right here. Okay, I'll give him some pub right now. This is what it said, and it said GameStop is not a buy. Avoid it. Don't touch it. Treat GameStop stock like a hot potato. Now, I would reference this article, but there's no point. There's no point because if we're talking about an IPO being launched today, and the company has zero debt, zero corporate debt, and they have tons of money they could borrow against their ABL facility. And let's just say they had $1.2 billion in the bank, 300 million of that, which is marketable securities. So the interest made off of that per quarter, around 15 million, could offset any operational losses. We're in an economic downtrend, and yet GameStop's still performing at a high level. They're going to be on a break-even format right now. Trailing 12 is going to get you about $1 to $2 million of profit on the trailing 12, which people think it's going out of business. They think it's failing. It's not going anywhere. And what can you tell me? That you did the math wrong? Michael Pachter knows this. Nick McKay knows this. We know this. GameStop investors. But if you haven't studied the stock for the last 3 years, what are we talking about, David? How do you do an article that's just rushed? That's what it was. For anybody who knows anything about GameStop, we read that. We're like, oh, this is just another hit piece. Let me tell you something, David. So the media is controlled by private equity. We know this. Stocks are controlled by private equity, and the development of your company can be stunted by private equity. But you can't stop this. It literally is called GameStop. You can't stop this. Picture this. You put out all this information, and you're telling everyone not to touch it. It's terrible stock. It's terrible company. But who gave you this? Who gave you this narrative? I know exactly what this company is. And so do you. So does everybody else. This is the Cinderella story of your lifetime. And you have the opportunity to try, right? I mean, I do. But when I see things like this, I think about it like this, okay? The initial impact of the news, bam, it comes out. GameStop, going to the moon, rockets, yes. And then they tell you other stuff. You know, there's AMC, there's Bed Bath & Beyond, there's Mullen Automotive, there's Carvana, there's Party City. They want you to touch every other stock but GameStop. Now, everyone out there's been making articles saying don't buy GameStop. I've seen this same article over the last 3 years 100 times, 1,000 times. I'm not joking. Literally seeing the same exact article you just wrote. But yet you're some earth-shattering news? No, it has a numbing effect after a while. It doesn't do the way you thought it would, like this euphoria feeling of like, I got him. No, we all just look at each other like, another one? Another one. David, it doesn't have the same effect. The diminishing returns on the effect, let alone the stock. I'm just telling you. You want to have an impact? You want to do something different, David? You want people to go ahead and say, you know what, you wrote a great piece? Do the positive story, not the negative one. That's my point to you. If you were to come out and say something positive about the company, you'd be amazed at how many people would come over and be like, you know what? That guy knows what he's talking about. But don't do it about the short squeeze. Don't do it about market manipulation. Don't do it about rockets and naked selling, short selling. Don't do any of that. Talk fundamentals to me. Talk dirty to me, David. Tell me that you read the balance sheet, that you understand what shareholder equity means, and how this is propped up on straight cash, and they're not burning cash. And then go look at that side of the business and come back to me Be like, you know what? Nintendo's up, Sony's up, everybody's up, gaming's up in general. Go look at Best Buy. They're up 9% on entertainment alone. That's gaming. So why is Best Buy trending up? Why is Walmart trending up? Why is GameStop trending up? We're telling you why. You're lying to yourself. And whoever told you to write the article, well, they made you look like an ass. And I'm here to remind you of it. GameStop, it's undefeated, and it will be. And I'll still be here. And then I'll write the article that says, I told you so. GameStop, can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. David, do the unthinkable. Write a positive article. Peace.